Ben, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good.
Good.
Listen, I'm a Scarborough kid. You still in Scarborough? You still call Scarborough home?
No, I live in down in East York.
Oh, no more. Well, that's close by. That's close by. Listen, I don't know whether, Ben, you've been following this year's Olympics. Um, Wanted to ask you first your thoughts on Canada's Andre DeGrasse. He didn't make it into the 100 or 200 meter finals. I know he was coming off an injury, but your thoughts on his performance at this year's Olympics.
Um, this entire track and field thing that it's just a joke. It's a
Oh,
big it's a big game. It's a big scam. This is what it is. If you're not involved in the track and field from the beginning, look inside in, everybody will say, oh, he got hurt or eh, you know, but from my perspective, it's a lot more than that.
what more is there? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts in the head?
Because I do believe that these athletes now it's over the hill, which is they're getting older,
Yeah.
and the new generation is coming up, and they have to step aside.
Okay.
And some of these people from different countries is missing their warm up area where they do the warm up. How can you miss your warm up area where you're involved in these things for 15 years of your career? You have a lot of experience and knowledge where to go, what time you have to
Yeah.
show up, and all of a sudden everybody is hurting or false starting on purpose. It's just a game.
Interesting.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but
Okay.
this, this is what it is.
What are your what are your thoughts?
They can fool the average people, but they can't fool Ben Johnson.
They can't fool Ben Johnson. Ben's been around the block.
That's
Uh,
right.
what what are your thoughts on Noah Lyles? He has seemed he won the 100. He got bronze in the 200. People say he was suffering from COVID, but what are your thoughts on him? He's flashy. He brings the eyeballs.
How
Um,
can we how can we get COVID when you lose the 200 meters and didn't have COVID when you win 100 meters? So maybe it takes too much vaccine.
Maybe too
Maybe it
much.
take maybe it takes too much booster shot. So no, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in
Okay.
it. I think he just got smoked, and the kid was better than him on that day, and the kid won the 200 meters, which is very happy that this kid win.
Yeah, Letsili Tobogo from Botswana.
Yeah, very proud
Uh,
of him.
yeah, he did very well. I wanted to ask you, and you know more than the average person would, or at least more than I am. I watch it every 3 4 years. But I remember you and Carl Lewis. You were the muscular runner. Carl Lewis um, was no slouch himself, but he was sort of like tall and lean. And I sort of remember, Andre DeGrasse, when you put him beside, Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, he's ripped. I don't think he was as big as you. Um, but he was Andre DeGrasse is kind of like smaller, not as bulked up. And I'm wondering, when you look at a runner and their physique, can you tell, do they have what it takes, or is it more than that?
Well, you can't really tell by physique, but you can tell by the time they're turning in. If they're running pretty good in the rounds and they feel confidence,
Yeah,
or the consistency in their rounds and the time, then you can say this guy's in good shape. He comes to run.
yeah,
Um, you know, you know, sprinters, you don't have to be big to run fast or small to run fast. As long as you're strong, mentally, physically, emotionally, and your body is developed properly, and the track surface is fast, and you're ready to go, and you're in good shape, yes, you can run fast.
fair enough, fair enough. Any of the track athletes, men or women, impress you? Anyone that you've got your eye on that we should be paying attention to either now or in the future?
What I'm just saying is the young generation is moving up, and the older generation now in track and field is It's you won't see much of these guys next year going into the World Championship and into the next Olympic Games coming up in LA. You won't see much of
Yeah,
these guys, but they need it. This is a new era for the young sprinters, just
yeah,
to make their debut in sports, and the old generation got their chances, got their time, doing very well, win a couple gold medals, make a lot of
yeah.
money. Now it's time to move aside and let the new generation take over now.
Very interesting. It's sort of like they're not there for as long as maybe you were. Like, I think you did what, 3 Olympics?
I did 3 Olympics.
Yeah, and it seems that the elite athletes these days they're in for 1 or 2, and if they stay any longer, especially the sprinters, it seems.
Well, the sprinters, the body take a lot of load and a lot of work, a lot of tremendous stress, so if you're lucky to get 2 Olympic Games in or three, that's good. But the
Yeah,
body take a lot of beating for a lot of years.
absolutely. Ben, I had the opportunity to read this book by Mary Ormsby. I sat down and chatted with her. She's a one of my favorite sports journalists, sports media personalities in Canada. An incredible story that she put into this book about your life, your struggles, your triumphs. Um, I had asked her this question. I want to ask you, Ben. Why did you choose Mary to write this book?
Well, she's been around for 37 years. She knows the history. She write good things about me, and I just believe in her and I trust her that she can do a very good job, and she did.
She absolutely did. Um, did you approach anybody else, or was she your one and only?
She's my one and only. Yeah.
Yeah. um, I was at the book launch, and you said a few words. Um, you were very emotional when speaking about uh, your good friend, the late Charlie Francis. Um, tell me your tell me about this relationship. Is when people read this book, he was like a father figure to you. You had a falling out, but then you guys reconciled near the end. What did he mean to you, and what is his legacy in Canadian track?
Charlie Francis is the best coach, is the best coach ever, and the best coach ever was. And if it wasn't for Charlie or Ben Johnson training program today, nobody able to run this fast. The whole learn from us. The whole learn from Charlie's program, which is mine. Uh, the secret of training and the peak and the right time and taper off. Everything is in Charlie's book. And if you're not smart enough to understand it, then you won't make it. So most of the coaches read the book, understand it, uh, and then after I left the scene, everybody started running fast. But you have to understand that there's a lot of coaches that speak with Charlie Francis back in 1988.
Hmm.
Even Glenn Mills, Usain Bolt coach, and speak to me about a little about training. And these guys come years later, become training and put some of the best athletes together and run some good times, and they think that they're the one who's a game changer. They're the one who did this and they're the one who did that. But basically, everything's come from Ben Johnson or Charlie that they speak to us 37 years ago in Seoul.
Yeah,
And that's the truth.
very, very interesting. Do you follow sort of his thought process in the training that you do now for athletes?
I try to stick to the program. I might do a little bit of changes, but not very much off.
Hmm.
But I still maintain the training program and weightlifting and squats and bench press and cleans and sled pull and all the stuff like that to develop the muscles that you need. So
Yeah, for sure. Um, Mary mentioned your deep commitment to your mother. Um, Tell us more on you sort of you did everything for her. And you know, in the book, there's this meeting that you have that you need to leave your mother's side to go meet this individual. And we'll talk about that meeting with Andre Jackson, I think it was. Um, but tell me about the impact and the influence of your mother in your career.
My mother make a big difference in my career because there's many times in the family have family problems. Like everybody have family problems, but during my family problems, my mother never share any of those problems to me because she want me to just focus and train and sleep and eat properly, and stop worrying about negative stuff. Not gonna help me. So I all these years I thought that everything was okay in the family. I thought it
Yeah.
was, but it wasn't. But she kept
Hmm.
everything hidden to herself and let me focus over the years. So she's a very strong woman. She's a very Christian woman who believes in everything that she does and praise the Lord and serve the Lord and God or whatever. And that's the type of person she is.
Yeah. She was the rock in the family.
Yeah.
Kept everything together. Um, I want to talk about this concept of the miscarriage of justice. You know, as I'm going through the book, Mary outlines all of these sort of steps in the process of you being tested and the announcement and the second sample and so on, and how it's as a reader, um, it seemed that there were so many things that were missed, um, and I wanted to ask you about a couple of things. Number one, your thoughts on that, and number two, your thoughts on Mary's portrayal of that whole process.
Well, from what Mary discovered that the lab report did have some misconceptions in it. Uh, Name crossed out, name adds in, numbers crossed out, numbers adds in, all that
Hmm.
stuff like that. So and the government of this country and the federation knows about it,
Hmm.
and they still go ahead and do the double inquiry, so I
Yeah.
can incriminate myself
Yeah.
or blackmail my own self,
Hmm.
knowing what the truth is, and then hidden away for 30 years, for 36 years.
Yeah.
So that's tell you why they're hiding these things from, why they're hiding all these things information from. So right there and then, Ben Johnson again was not only ambush but lynch. Let me test positive for something that I do. That's something that I didn't do. So this is what's been going on. You know, they couldn't beat me no other way. They couldn't beat me no other way. So this is the only way they can beat me is in the lab. But let me say this: the more, the number one questions, and this is the number one answers that I'm gonna give to you is not only that I can't, not only that I ban from life from track and field, I also ban from life from coaching. And you can't take someone livelihood away from them to earn a living. There's no law in the world justify that. So
Huh.
what they're doing, that's wrong, and they can't do that. And that's the reason why I'm fighting this system here and fighting. This fight is like David and Goliath.
Yeah.
This fight is huge, more than you can ever imagine. And we know who win that fight between David and Goliath, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So this fight, what I'm fighting is huge. I'm fighting the whole world, especially when these guys run were athletics.
So when you say you can't coach anymore, like you're coaching now, right?
No, I want to coach professional athletes.
Okay.
Just like people are coaches now in the Olympic Games, professional
Yeah.
athletes. I want to coach on that level.
Okay. And you're okay. So they're not letting you. Okay. Makes sense to me. I get it now.
You
I
got it.
get it now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, tell us, we talked about this gentleman, Andre Jack. Is it Andre Jackson? Do I have that name right?
Andre Jackson.
Yeah. This is a fascinating story all on its own. Um, for those who don't know, who is Andre Jackson?
Andre Jackson was Carl Lewis' friend, one of his closest friends back in the South America Track Club. He was a sprinter, but didn't do very well.
Yeah. And he shows up in Seoul.
He shows up unexpected. He shows up when Charlie is not around. When Charlie's around, he doesn't show up. And
Interesting.
he changed his identity. Sometimes he shave his head,
Yeah.
bald, and then gain a lot of weight, so you can't really recognize him.
And he shows up when you are submitting a sample
A
after
sample,
your
yeah,
race in Seoul.
that's right.
And this is fascinating. I thought you go in, maybe the only person there is somebody who's witnessing you giving a sample. What is his reasoning? What's his role in being in the same place you were at?
Well, I look on his accreditation, and I said, "Oh, you're American," you know, because I didn't recognize him,
Yeah.
even though I met him before, about say a year and a half ago. Before that, I didn't know that this was the same guy because, like I said, he changed his profile.
Yeah.
So he shaved his head, gained weight for these reasons. So I could never recognize this guy.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him, I said, "Listen," I saw his accreditation. I said, "What are you doing here? You're Americans. Americans finish second. You should be on the other room, not in there." He goes, "Well, I'm just here just to congratulate you."
Interesting.
Very interested.
Yeah. Um, you test obviously for stanazanol, I think is how it's pronounced. Um,
Phenomenal, yeah.
uh, I'm very curious about this. Maybe because I'm not in the space. I'm not in athletics. I don't know. But in order to give a sample, because you're dehydrated, you're drinking beers. Was that normal? Is that still today normal? There was no
It's
Gatorade
normal.
back then, I'm guessing.
They just give you beer to drink because it's going in the system faster and you go to the washroom faster
That's why. Oh, okay, okay,
than
okay.
than just drinking water.
Oh, okay, okay. I was wondering. I said, this is strange for athletes, for elite athletes to be drinking beer. I thought it was very funny. Um, but the story with Andre Jackson doesn't stop there. Does he show up again somewhere, or do you try to find out who this guy is? Like, how does he come back?
He shows up in different meets even when Carlos beat me in 1987 in Zurich, just before the Olympic Games in 1988.
Yeah,
When Carlos beat me and everybody was jumping around and hugging Carl, there's a highlight of a light around this guy's face and said, that's the same guy. It's Carlos' friend. That's the same guy was in a picture with me in 1988 in the lab. And I said,
yeah.
holy shit.
Oh, so you found out about this like years later?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! And
So
you pursue? Yeah, go
like
ahead.
I said, he changed his profile, he changed his looks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he gained weight, he gained a lot of weight just to camouflage himself.
And then you search for this guy. You search for him, trying to find out whether he'll sort of spill the beans, tell the truth.
Well, he called me and said that he's in San Diego, want to tell me. And I
Yeah.
said, my mom is really sick and I cannot leave. He said, well, it's good for you to come to know the truth. And then he didn't really tell the truth. He just tell me certain things and then wants me to figure it out by myself. And when I figured it by myself, he said yes, so to speak.
What did he tell you?
Well, he told me that he spikes my drink, but he didn't come on and told me that. He just gave me a hint what he was wearing when he was sitting down beside the fridge on on the floor, and he wants me to reveal everything to him, and then we say he will not shake his head and say yeah, yeah,
Wow.
but he never want to admit anything.
He never wanted it. Do you still keep in touch with him?
I haven't talked to him for about maybe 6-7 months now.
Okay. Okay. But you were still keeping in touch with him. Is your hope that one day he outright admits it?
I don't know if this thing would happen,
Yeah.
but at least my conscience is clear.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that because you see, these kind of people thinks and believe that they're so invincible,
Yep.
and what they're doing was the right thing to do. And the reason why I'm saying this is these kind of people doesn't go to church. They don't believe in Christianity. They don't believe in Jesus Christ. They don't believe in God. They might say the word Jesus Christ or God just to make themselves look good, but they don't mean it.
Mm.
And for him to do what he did, for his soul to rest in peace, he has to tell the world what he did. But I'm saying this. Maybe it won't happen in this lifetime. But I'm telling you, what he did was wrong. It was unfair, and the blood of Jesus Christ is on his hands.
Mm.
That's what he should be fair about. But
The
not only
book.
that, not only that,
Yeah.
not only that, even what he did to me was an attempted murder, and that's not I'm not stopping a limitation.
Well, tell me.
But
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish off your thoughts.
well,
Sorry.
the amount of drugs they find in my system, it was enough to kill me, so to speak.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So that's alone is attempted murder. But the double inquiry screw up everything. Let me admit, yes, I was doing this. Yes, I was doing that. Knowingly what the drug testing is and what the lab results shows that it was not my lab result, it was somebody else. That
That's
is a
crazy.
blackmail.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is crazy.
That's part of
And they want to show the whole world how wonderful this country is, and these people do something else.
So did you feel betrayed? And what I
Oh
mean
yeah,
by that is, when you're a champion, Canada loves you.
I
When
feel
you're a
betrayed. I feel betrayed. But you know what? You know what? The sun will shine again for Ben Johnson.
Hmm.
And when the sun shine again, I will leave this country, man.
What gives you that hope and that belief?
Because we got something else going on that I can't discuss. But when the time comes, we will discuss it again and let the whole world see and know what is the real truth is.
The book is The Incredible Life of Ben Johnson, the world's fastest man, written by Mary Ormsby. You can find this book wherever books are sold. Ben, final couple of questions I have for you. What message do you want to convey to young athletes about sports, athletics, training? What's your message to them?
Well, for the young generation growing up who want to make a life for themselves, first you have to pick a sport that you love. First, you have to love the sports.
Mm-hmm.
It does baseball, hockey, track and field, whatever you want to choose to do. You have to love it. You have to love that sport. And once you love that sports, then you can use that vehicle, your body as a vehicle, to get a good scholarship in the States. To get a free
Okay.
education. A free ride means your marks, your school marks are very good up to 80s or 90s, and you're participating in any sports event you choose to, you can do very well, and then you get a full scholarship. That means your parents doesn't have to dish out extra $5,000-6,000 to make up the difference in this field. Once you get into school, then you're on your way to become a great athlete, or to get a bachelor, or your degree in any subject that you choose to take. And
Yeah.
then you can use that, get a nice job in the States if you choose to live in the States, which is
Yeah.
I told all my athletes that to stay in the States, don't come out to Canada because there's nothing here for you guys. Go to Canada, go to America. You have 350 million people living in America. You have lot more opportunity in America to make a name for yourself. Meet a
Yeah.
beautiful girl, get
Yeah.
married, share your income, get a nice house, make a family. That's what it's all about. That's what I told these black
Have a good
kids.
life. Have a good life.
I said, don't come to Canada. There's nothing here for you guys. Nothing.
You said once everything is cleared up, once things get revealed, you're leaving Canada. Are you heading to the States or are you going back to Jamaica?
I'm going back to Jamaica and Europe because Europe, people are more open-minded. People are very nice. People
Hmm.
treat you with respect,
Yeah.
quality, and everything. In North America here, Canada, we're still learning how to live.
Interesting.
We're still a young country here.
Interesting. You happy with Mary's work on this book? Is there anything she left out you wish she would have talked about?
There's more stuff that she could have put in, but she did the best she can, and she put in what was right and what was important.
Okay. So there's a part two coming. Is that what you're saying?
There's a part two coming, but it will be. I'm not sure who's going to be written this book, but there will be a part two.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Ben, how do you want to be remembered? Um, yeah, how do for those of us who grew up watching you, I remember exactly where I was watching your race, my mom's
I know
living
exactly
room.
where I were too.
What lane were you in? 5, 6?
I was in lane 5.
Lane
Oh my God, lane 6. Yeah.
lane with your finger pointed up. Iconic moment. How do you want to be remembered? What's Ben Johnson's legacy?
Well, it's not me to say, but I can say this. Before I leave this world, I want to clear my name and show the world or the public that the World Athletics, the IRC, and all those people that works well for these people are corrupt. This is one of the more corrupted sports known to man. The athletes get shafted. The athletes is the slaves of this organization called World Athletics. They use these athletes, make a lot of money through sponsorship, and when something happened to the athletes, they throw them aside or throw them on and say, "Oh, you're banned for life, or you're banned. You cannot do anything." This is not right. This is
Yeah.
not right. This organization has to to fail, or somebody comes in, do something differently about the sports and make something else bigger than what it is today. To be someone to be a member, Ben Johnson speak his mind. Ben Johnson's tell it like it is, and will be tell like it is when the right time comes. Because a lot of things I'm holding back right now. I don't
Yeah.
want to say right now, but when that time comes, I'm gonna let it hang out because I'm keeping these things in my for too long, which is not very good for my health.
What's
But
what's the reason you're holding on to it? Is there something you're waiting to happen?
something waiting for happen, but I can't say anything
Okay.
right now
Okay.
because yeah. But once everything is done, well, I want people to remember me as the fastest man ever live and or ever run an 100-meter dash. If anybody can run 9.4 or 9.3, I can run 9.1 because these people that are stronger than me are better than me, are faster than me.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
It was interesting. I forgot to mention this right off the top. Noah Lyles won the gold medal at 9.79, same time that you had in
So,
Seoul.
so what's that said to you? What's that mean? What's that said? What's that mean?
It took how many years? 88, 98, 2000, like 30 years?
37 years. 37 years with a different, better technology, better spikes, better track, better supplements, if you want to call it that way, and they're still struggling to run 9.79. Which means I even run 9.79, shutting down at 90 meters and
Yeah.
point one finger up in the air, slowing down. And these guys
Yeah.
running. So what's that tell you? That tell you that these guys are not in my class of running.
This is
Not
what I
even
love
close.
about Ben Johnson.
Not
Speaks
even
his mind. Love it.
not even close. Not even close.
Love it. Ben, let me give the last word to you. Anything you want to say?
No, I just wish all the athletes, the new generation coming up, whatever they choose to do in the sports or in events, into school, is to use the body as a vehicle to get to the States, get a full scholarship. That means the parents, the mom and dad doesn't have to pay out $20,000, but they don't have, and get a free education out of it. If you choose to go do track and field or other sports to make a living, you can
Yeah.
do so, but at least you have the bachelor and your degree, you have it in your hand. So after you finish your sports, or you not to do sports, but go and find a job or open your own business, you can do so. And if you decide to go to America, don't come to Canada.
Yeah.
Because the limitation here is very, very, very low.
Yeah.
You cannot make it here. So
Yeah.
if you go to the States, you can do very, very well. You have 250 million people live in the States. You have a lot of opportunity there. You can do very well for all these young generations. So that's my answer to the young generation.
Ben Johnson, the world's fastest man. Thank you so much for your time. I hope it would be a sad day when you do leave Canada, but it would be a happy day for you. You won't have that heavy weight on your heart or on your shoulders anymore, and your story will be out. So I hope that day for you comes soon.
Like I said, the sun will shine again for Ben Johnson.
Thank you so much, Ben, for your time.
Okay, thank you.